Have you ever met two people, both Aquarius, yet they felt like total opposites? One always dreaming about the future, lost in ideas no one else understands. Another, standing in protests, fighting for justice in the present moment. And then, someone who spends hours alone reading, creating, thinking, quietly seeing beauty where no one else does. Why does this happen? Why are people born under the same zodiac sign, sometimes so different? Here's a truth most people don't know. Every zodiac sign is divided into 3 hidden parts, called decans. And these decans shape your personality, your emotions, even the way you think. If you're Aquarius, your exact birth date reveals whether you are a visionary, a humanitarian, or an intellectual. Today, we're going deep. Because understanding your decan is like unlocking a door inside yourself. A door that leads to understanding why you feel the way you do. Why you act the way you act. And why certain struggles keep repeating in your life. So, are you ready to discover the real you? Stay with me. This video will change the way you see yourself and the people around you. And hey, if you enjoy learning about astrology, psychology, and the secrets of human nature, take a second to subscribe to the channel. Click like, share this video with someone curious like you. It really helps us grow, and it might just help someone else on their journey too. Now, let's begin. Imagine this for a moment. You're sitting across from 2 people, both born under the Aquarius sign. Same element, same symbol, yet somehow, they couldn't feel more different. One of them barely speaks about the present. Their mind is always somewhere far ahead. Talking about future technologies, wild ideas, things you can't even fully understand. They seem distant. Maybe even a little cold. But deep down, they're not cold. They're just somewhere else. Living in a future that hasn't been built yet. And then there's the other one. Someone grounded. Someone who fights for what matters right now. Always speaking up about justice, about people's rights. They seem so full of purpose. They're not lost in dreams like the first. They're lost in the struggle of today. Helping those who can't help themselves. Always pushing for change. Why do 2 people, same zodiac sign, become so different? The answer is hidden in something most people never hear about. The decans. If you're an Aquarius born between January 21st and January 30th, you belong to the first decan. You are what we call the visionary. And there's something unique about you. From the time you were young, you probably felt different. Not in a proud way. In a lonely way. Like your mind worked on frequencies no one else seemed to tune into. You'd talk about your ideas, and people would stare at you like you were from another planet. And in a way, you are. Because you see what's possible. Not what's already here. That's the gift of Uranus. Your ruling planet. Uranus makes you restless. It plants seeds of change deep in your mind. You're wired to rebel. Not for attention. Not for chaos. But because your soul simply can't accept limitations. Traditional rules, outdated thinking, narrow minds, they suffocate you. You need to break walls down. Even if it means standing alone. You probably noticed that, too. How solitude became your closest friend. While others feared loneliness, you found peace there. Because in silence, your ideas finally have space to breathe. When you're alone, your mind doesn't have to explain itself. It's free to explore, to wander into the future, and come back with visions the world hasn't seen yet. Some might think you're avoiding people. But what you're really avoiding is noise. Noise that drowns out the voice inside you whispering, there's a better way. And yes, it can be lonely. Being years ahead of everyone else means waiting for the world to catch up. It means having conversations no one's ready to have yet. Loving ideas no one understands yet. Sometimes, it makes you question yourself. Why don't they see what I see? Why do I feel so disconnected? But that disconnection isn't a flaw. It's a clue. A sign you're not here to follow. You're here to lead. You're here to dream first, so others can follow after. Like the inventors, the revolutionaries, the thinkers who changed the world long before their time. They too sat alone. They too doubted themselves. But they kept going. And so should you. Here's something important. Many visionary Aquarians struggle in relationships. Not because you don't care. You care deeply. But emotions confuse you sometimes. You process love differently. Your affection shows up in your ideas, your projects, your work to make life better for others. People close to you might mistake your need for personal space as rejection. They might see your constant thinking as coldness. And that's where understanding matters. If you're in love with a visionary Aquarius, remember this. When they pull away, it's not because they've stopped loving you. It's because they're building something inside their mind. Something they can't explain yet. Give them space, and they'll return, clearer, stronger, and ready to connect. And if you are that visionary Aquarius, remember that not everyone thinks like you. And that's okay. Your ideas don't need immediate understanding to be valuable. Keep your circle small, but meaningful. Find people who support your vision, even if they don't fully grasp it. And allow yourself moments of human connection. Because even visionaries need grounding. Now, what about your purpose? Many of you feel called towards causes bigger than yourselves. Environmental protection, social justice, technological innovation. Your mind constantly asks, how can this world be better? That question isn't random. It's your calling. You're not designed to accept the world as it is. You're designed to improve it. Use that restless energy. Join movements. Start projects. Build something real. Because your ideas matter. Even if no one says it out loud. Even if you don't always believe it yourself. But be careful. There's a dark side to your brilliance. Isolation can become too comfortable. You might shut people out for too long. You might drown in your own thoughts. When that happens, remember, solitude is your tool, not your home. Use it to create. Then return to the world. Share what you've built inside your mind. Your ideas are only powerful when they're shared. If you've ever felt like no one understands you, if your dreams feel too big, too strange, too far from now, take a breath. You're not lost. You're not broken. You're a visionary. And the world needs you. Even if it doesn't know it yet. So tell me, does any of this feel like your story? Or maybe someone you know? Keep listening. Because what comes next might help you understand yourself, or someone you love, more than you ever thought possible. Now, let's go deeper. Because the mind of a visionary Aquarius isn't just full of ideas. It's also a battlefield. You see, there's a silent struggle that many first-decan Aquarians face, a conflict that isn't easy to explain. Even to themselves. It's the tension between their visions of the future, and the reality they're forced to live in every day. Imagine constantly seeing possibilities no one else can see. Waking up every morning knowing that the world could be better, should be better, but isn't. That constant awareness can feel heavy. It creates frustration, sometimes even sadness. And most people around them won't notice. They'll only see the silence. The long stares into nowhere. The sudden need to be alone. But behind that silence, there's noise. A mind overwhelmed by dreams that don't know how to become real yet. If you've ever felt that way, you're not alone. It's a part of your path. Your mind is not broken. It's just wired differently. You're a visionary. And visionaries often carry the burden of seeing too much. Too soon. The truth is, the world needs you, but it won't always understand you. Not at first. That misunderstanding can hurt. It can make you question your worth. But here's something important to remember. People don't reject you. They reject what they're not ready to understand. Keep speaking. Keep creating. Because someone out there is waiting for your idea, even if you haven't met them yet. Now, let's talk about your solitude. People might think you're running away, that you're avoiding life. But the truth is much more personal. You're not escaping people. You're seeking space. Safe space for your mind to breathe, to process, to invent. Solitude isn't loneliness for you. It's oxygen. It's where your ideas come alive. But be honest with yourself. Solitude can be addictive. You can get so used to your own mind that you forget how to connect with others. And over time, that can turn into isolation. That's not what you want. So here's a gentle reminder. Use solitude as your workshop, not your hiding place. Create inside it. Heal inside it. But always return to life. Because your ideas aren't meant to stay locked in your mind. They're meant to change the world. Let's reflect on something else. Many visionary Aquarians don't just feel misunderstood by people. They feel disconnected from the world itself. It's like living in a place you know doesn't match what's possible. You look around and see systems that feel outdated. Traditions that seem pointless. Rules that limit more than they protect. And you wonder, why does no one question this? Why does everyone seem so comfortable with this is how it's always been? That frustration can turn into distance. Emotional distance. You might find yourself pulling away, not because you want to, but because deep inside, you don't know how to belong. If that's you, take this to heart. You're not supposed to fit perfectly into the present. Because your soul belongs to the future. But that doesn't mean you're destined to be alone. Connection is possible. It just looks different for you. Find people who value your mind. People who respect your independence. People who can sit beside you, even when you're lost in thought. And remember, belonging doesn't mean shrinking yourself to fit others. It means finding those who make space for who you are. Now, here's something even deeper. Why are so many visionary Aquarians drawn to activism, technology, and social change? Why do you feel this constant pull to fix the world? It's not just personality. It's purpose. Somewhere deep in your subconscious, you know that your visions aren't random. They're instructions. Blueprints. Your mind doesn't imagine a better world just for fun. It does it because it's your mission. You're here to lead. To innovate. To create. Not for recognition. Not for approval. But because changing the world is how you heal yourself. That's why humanitarian causes resonate with you. When you work towards something bigger than yourself, you feel less alone. You feel connected to the future you're trying to build. Your ideas aren't just mental exercises. They're acts of service. Acts of love. But let me warn you. The path of the visionary can be exhausting. You'll feel the weight of slow progress. You'll battle self-doubt. You'll hear people tell you your ideas are impossible. Let them talk. Let them doubt. And then, keep building. Keep dreaming. Because revolutions never start with the crowd. They start with one mind. One voice. One dreamer. Alone, at first. And now, as we move forward, stay close. Because in the next part of this journey, we'll uncover the most surprising truths about Aquarians born not in solitude, but in service. The humanitarians. Their path might just be the most emotionally intense of all. And it holds lessons you'll never forget. Now, let's step into a different world. A world where Aquarius energy looks less like distant dreams, and more like real action. If you were born between January 31st and February 8th, you belong to the second decan of Aquarius. And your soul works differently. You're not just a dreamer. You're a fighter. A humanitarian at heart. From a young age, you probably felt something stir inside you when you saw unfairness. When someone was bullied. When someone's voice was ignored. When people suffered in silence. You couldn't just watch. You felt it. Deep in your chest. Like their pain was yours. That's not weakness. That's your power. You carry humanity inside you. And Mercury, your ruling planet, makes sure you can't ignore it. Unlike first decan Aquarians, who often work alone, you understand that change doesn't happen in isolation. You believe in people. In community. In the power of voices raised together. Maybe you've stood in protests. Maybe you've signed petitions. Maybe you've simply spoken up when others stayed quiet. Whatever form it takes. Your soul keeps pushing you forward. You don't talk about change just to sound wise. You work for it. Every single day. But here's the thing most people don't realize. Being a humanitarian Aquarius isn't easy. It's exhausting. Carrying the weight of the world's problems feels noble at first, but over time, it can break you down. You see suffering everywhere. You hear injustice in every silence. And slowly, it gets heavy. You start to feel tired, burned out, even hopeless. That's the hidden struggle of your path. You love humanity, but humanity doesn't always love you back. People ignore change. They resist. They criticize. And you're left wondering, am I fighting alone? The answer, sometimes, is yes. But that's what makes your strength so rare. You fight anyway. Even when no one's watching. Even when no one thanks you. That's the purest form of compassion. Quiet. Steady. Unbreakable. Now, let's talk about your mind. Mercury's energy gives you a sharp intellect. You don't just feel injustice. You analyze it. You research. You learn. You strategize. You turn ideas into plans. And words into movements. That's why you're such a powerful communicator. When you speak, people listen. Not because you're loud, but because you speak the truth. You know how to explain complex issues in ways people understand. You know how to inspire. How to lead. But you also know that words alone aren't enough. You want action. Real results. And when progress is slow, your heart aches. That's where your solitude comes in. You're not like the visionary who isolates to think. You isolate to heal. When the world feels too heavy, you step back. Not to escape. But to recharge. To remember why you started. Solitude is your shelter. Your breathing space. Your way to reset before returning to the fight. But let me share something important. Many humanitarian Aquarians feel guilty for resting. They think stepping back means they're giving up. But that's not true. Rest isn't quitting. It's part of your strength. You cannot carry others if you're too broken to stand. So protect your energy. Take time alone. Find peace, even if it's just for a little while. And when you're ready, return. Because your mission isn't over. Let's get even more personal now. Relationships can be complicated for you. You crave deep connections. But you're not easy to be close to. Why? Because you see the world's pain so clearly that it's hard to relate to people who don't. Small talk bores you. Shallow conversations drain you. You don't want surface-level friendships. You want real ones. Honest. Purposeful. People who care as deeply as you do. And when you meet people who ignore injustice, who pretend not to see suffering, it hurts. You struggle to understand them. You might even push them away. That's not coldness. That's your soul protecting itself. But here's a gentle reminder. Not everyone can carry what you carry. And that's okay. Compassion also means patience. So, when you find those few who understand, hold them close. Let them help you carry the weight. There's something else you should know about yourself. You're not just a voice for others. You're a bridge. You connect people. Your empathy allows you to bring together different sides. Opposites. You can mediate, translate, unify. That's a rare skill. In a world divided, you build understanding. And that's leadership at its highest form. But remember, empathy is a double-edged sword. You feel everything. The sadness of strangers. The pain of the world. It gets overwhelming. Some days, you might feel hopeless. Like no matter how hard you fight, nothing changes. But don't let those feelings silence you. Your sadness means you care. And caring is your superpower. So when the world feels too dark, look inside. Find your reason. Remember why you started. And keep going. Your voice matters. Your work matters. Even if you can't see the impact yet. Seeds grow silently. Change often begins where no one is looking. Now, are you starting to see yourself? Or maybe someone you know? A soul always fighting, always hoping, always caring a little too much? That's the humanitarian Aquarius. And if that's you, know this. You are the heart of humanity. Never forget that. And keep listening, because the next part of this journey will take us somewhere even deeper. Into the mind of the third and final type of Aquarius. The intellectual. Where logic meets beauty, and emotions hide in silence. What I'm about to share might just be the most surprising and misunderstood truth about Aquarius you'll ever hear. Now, let's step into the world of the third decan Aquarius. If you were born between February 9th and February 18th, your energy feels different from what we've talked about so far. You're not the restless visionary lost in the future. You're not the humanitarian fighting battles in the present. You're something more subtle. More inward. You're the intellectual. The quiet thinker. The philosopher. The artist who sees beauty in things others overlook. And the scientist who questions life not with anger, but with quiet wonder. Venus rules your decan. That might surprise you. Most people hear Venus and think of love or romance. But for you, Venus works differently. It gives you a soft lens through which you see the world. You don't just process facts. You find beauty in knowledge itself. You're the type who sees poetry in math, music in science, patterns in conversations. Life isn't just something you live. It's something you study. Something you question. Something you quietly fall in love with every day. You've probably noticed that from a young age. Maybe you were the child who asked endless questions no one could answer. Or the teenager who preferred libraries over parties. Maybe you were the friend who listened more than you spoke, not because you were shy, but because you were thinking. Always thinking. Watching. Analyzing. Trying to understand why people behave the way they do. Why emotions feel the way they feel. Why life unfolds the way it does. That's your mind at work. Always connecting dots. Always searching for hidden meanings. You see life like a giant puzzle. And every conversation, every book, every quiet moment adds a new piece. But here's something important. You're not cold. People might assume that. Because you often seem distant. Distracted. Lost in thought. But the truth is, your thoughts are warm. Full of feeling. You don't separate logic from emotion. You blend them. You understand that emotions aren't irrational. They're data. They're clues. They're the heart of human experience. And you study them, not to control them, but to understand yourself more deeply. That's why solitude feels like home to you. You're not avoiding life. You're exploring it from within. You need space. Not because you dislike people, but because your mind needs silence to wander, to create, to process emotions others might ignore. For you, time alone isn't loneliness. It's nourishment. It's where you think your deepest thoughts, feel your deepest feelings, and create your most meaningful work. Many third decan Aquarians are artists, writers, musicians, researchers. Not always professionally, but naturally. Even if no one sees your work, you create. You write in journals. You sketch in notebooks. You compose thoughts in your mind like a secret symphony. And that creation isn't for attention. It's not for fame. It's how you breathe. It's how you heal. But let's be honest. This intellectual depth can make relationships tricky. You don't connect easily. You're not interested in small talk. You crave depth. Conversations that challenge your mind. People who see beauty in strange places. When someone only schemes the surface, you drift away. Not because you're arrogant, but because shallow waters don't satisfy a deep soul. But when you find someone who understands, someone who listens, who thinks, who feels as deeply as you do, you open up. Slowly. Carefully. But fully. And when you connect, it's not superficial. It's soul to soul. Mind to mind. That's what you're searching for. Not many people. Just a few, who see the world through the same gentle lens. Now, let's talk about your creativity. Many people don't realize this, but intellectuals like you are often the most creative souls. Not because you try to be, but because your mind connects things others don't see. You blend science with art, philosophy with emotion. You see connections between fields, between people, between ideas. And that's where innovation is born. But here's a gentle warning. Your mind can trap you. Overthinking is a real danger. You analyze so much that decisions feel impossible. You think in circles. Question every path. Wonder if every emotion is real or just another idea to explore. And in those moments, you might feel stuck. Paralyzed. Like your mind has become a maze with no exit. When that happens, pause. Stop thinking. Start feeling. Go for a walk. Write a song. Paint something messy. Do something that silences your inner critic. Remember, not everything needs to be understood. Some things just need to be felt. Your biggest lesson is to trust yourself. Your thoughts are powerful. Your emotions are valid. And your creations matter. Even if they're quiet. Even if no one claps for them. They are real. And they are enough. Now, if you've felt misunderstood your whole life, if you've struggled to explain your complex thoughts, if you've lost yourself in overthinking, take a deep breath. You're not broken. You're an intellectual Aquarius. And your mind is your sanctuary. But solitude isn't your destiny. It's your starting point. Use it to create. Use it to heal. Then share your work with the world. Let people see what you see. Feel what you feel. Because your ideas, your art, your quiet wisdom could change someone's life. And as we reach the final part of this journey, stay with me. Because the last 3 truths about Aquarius reveal something even deeper. Something that might challenge what you believe about yourself. And might change the way you see your life's purpose forever. Now, let's step back and see the bigger picture. Because whether you are a visionary, a humanitarian, or an intellectual, there's something deeper connecting all Aquarians. Something many people miss. Every Aquarius, in their own way, carries a shared soul blueprint. You are here to challenge, to question, to change. But how you do it depends on your decan. Some of you imagine futures no one else dares to dream. Some of you fight for justice in the present moment. And some of you seek hidden truths, blending thought and feeling in ways the world can't always understand. But at your core, every Aquarius carries one mission: to make the world better than you found it. What's interesting is how often this mission is misunderstood. People see you as cold, distant, emotionless. But they're wrong. The real truth? Your emotions are so deep that you don't always know how to show them. You process love through action, through change, through creating something new. And that's not wrong. It's just different. Maybe you've felt it yourself. That feeling of being on the outside. Watching life unfold, knowing you think differently, but not knowing how to explain it. Maybe you've wondered if you're too strange, too quiet, too rebellious, too soft, too strong. Let me tell you, you're not too much. You're exactly as you're meant to be. And the world needs your difference. But there's something else you need to remember. Your mind is powerful. Your ideas are powerful. But you are more than your mind. You are a soul, a heart, a human. Let people see that side of you too. Let yourself feel. Let yourself connect. You don't need to change the world alone. So now, as we reach the end of this journey, take a quiet moment. Breathe. Think about everything we've explored today. Which part felt like you? Were you the visionary, dreaming in solitude? The humanitarian, fighting for what's right? The intellectual, thinking and creating in silence? Or maybe, a little bit of all three? Whatever your answer is, remember this. You're not defined by your birth date alone. You're shaped by your choices. By how you use your gifts. By how bravely you step into the world. Sharing who you are. And if today's video made you feel seen, if you felt your soul in these words, then stay with me. Subscribe to this channel. Click like. Share this video with someone who needs it. Maybe a friend who always felt different. Maybe someone who never understood why they think the way they do. Together, we'll keep exploring the stories hidden in the stars, and the truths buried deep in the human heart. There's so much more waiting for you. So much more waiting inside you. Thank you for being here. And remember, your uniqueness is not your weakness. It's your power. I'll see you in the next video.